um, Virgo, you came here with something specific on your mind, not a general curiosity about what the cards might say about the broad landscape of your life, a specific situation, the one that has been occupying a quality of your attention that is different from the ordinary background noise of things that need to be thought about. The one that wakes you up slightly earlier than you needed to wake up, or that arrives uninvited in the gaps between other thoughts. The one you brought with you into this reading because you need something. The ordinary processing of it has not been able to produce, and what you need in the most honest and most useful form I can offer it is this: the truth of where the situation actually is. Not where you hope it is, not where you fear it is, where it actually is. What is genuinely present in the energy of it, and what is genuinely approaching, and what the cards can offer in terms of the most honest available picture of what is coming. Let me describe what I felt when I opened the energy of this reading, because the first impressions were specific and they have something to tell you before we go near the cards. I felt unresolved, not in the negative sense of something being wrong or stuck in a permanent way. In the specific, active, still in motion sense of something that has not yet arrived at its natural expression. The situation you have in mind has not completed its arc. It is not finished. There is more coming. And the quality of the more that is coming is what this reading is going to illuminate. I also felt the specific quality of what tends to be present in a situation when multiple people's energy is involved, and when each person's relationship to the situation is at a slightly different stage of processing. The quality of a situation that is real and that has weight and that involves genuine stakes, but that has not yet arrived at the place where all the relevant elements are in the same position simultaneously and can therefore produce the resolution that the situation is working toward. The first card in this reading arrived in the position representing where the situation actually is right now, the accurate current state of what you are carrying and what is present in the energy of it. And I want to be precise here because the accuracy of this picture is the foundation of everything else. This card shows a figure seated with cups arranged before them and one cup being extended from above. The quality of someone who has a great deal already present and who is nonetheless in a position of not fully recognizing or engaging with what is available. This is the card of someone who is in a slightly absorbed, looking inward quality of relationship with a situation rather than an outward, engaging, actively moving quality. The water element governs genuine feeling and the authentic interior life. And what I am reading in this card is that the situation is primarily in the interior phase right now. It is being processed, turned over, considered, felt rather than acted upon. What I am reading in this card about the current state is something I want to name specifically. Things are quieter than you would like them to be right now. Not because nothing is real, because what is real is being processed privately rather than expressed outwardly. The stillness that you may be experiencing in the external, visible dimension of this situation is not the stillness of nothing happening. It is the stillness of something happening in a space you do not currently have full visibility into. I also want to speak to the extended cup in this card, the one being offered from above, because I think it carries something important about what is available in the current moment. There is something being offered to you in the current period that you may be too absorbed in the processing of the situation to fully see or receive. Some quality of information or clarity or invitation that exists in the current moment that the situation is occupying. Lifting your gaze slightly from the full absorption of the situation toward what is immediately around you may reveal something that is already available. I want to name something about the specific quality of the waiting that this card describes, because I think it is one of the hardest things about the current period, and naming it honestly is more useful than minimizing it. The specific quality of knowing that something real is present and that it is being processed in private on the other side without your being able to see the processing or to know where it is in its arc produces a particular kind of discomfort that is distinct from the discomfort of uncertainty about whether something is real. The something is real. The uncertainty is about when and how the processing on the other side completes. That specific kind of waiting, the this is real and I cannot see where it is kind, is one of the harder forms of waiting to inhabit with patience. And the reading is acknowledging that it is what you are in. The second card arrived in the position representing what is happening in the situation from the other side, what is present in the energy of whoever else is part of what you have in mind, and I want to describe this carefully. This card shows a figure in the specific posture of quiet, self-contained reflection, in the quality of someone who is turned inward, carrying their own light into their own interior examination rather than engaging outwardly. This is the card of private processing, of someone who has something they are working through alone before bringing it into any external expression. What I am reading in this card about what is happening on the other side of the situation is something I want to name directly. They are in their own process. Whatever the nature of the situation and whatever their role in it, what is currently happening for them is interior rather than exterior. They are not in a position of external action right now. They are in a position of internal examination, of sitting with what is true for them and what they understand and what they want to do about it. I also want to speak to what this card's light suggests about the quality of the processing. The figure carries their own light. They are not in darkness. What is being worked through is being worked through with genuine, honest, their own quality of clarity examination rather than in confusion or avoidance. The processing is real and it is leading somewhere, and what it is leading toward is the next card. I want to name something about the specific relationship between the first card and the second card in this reading, because I think seeing them together illuminates something important about the current state of the situation. Two sides of the same situation, both in an inward turn processing phase simultaneously. This synchronicity is not a coincidence. It is the specific quality of a situation that is at a genuine turning point, where both parties are in their own private reckoning with what is real and what they want and what comes next. When both sides of a situation are in genuine interior processing at the same time, it tends to signal that the situation is approaching a moment of collective externalization, that what has been internal on both sides is approaching a point of becoming external in the same window, which is precisely what the third card is pointing toward. Does this feel like it is describing something real about the current state of your situation, Virgo? The quality of things being quieter than you would like while processing is happening on multiple sides? Let me know in the comments. The third card arrived in the position representing what is coming, the specific movement and development that the situation is building toward in the near future. And this is the card that carries the answer to the question the reading is asking. This card shows a figure in complete directed forward motion, the posture of someone who has resolved any internal ambivalence and who is now simply moving in the direction they have chosen. The fire element of this court figure speaks to initiative and to the willingness to act on what is genuine, and the quality of directedness of someone who knows where they are going and who is going there without the weight of continued deliberation holding them back is the specific quality of what is approaching. What I am reading in this card about what is coming is something I want to say clearly and without softening. Movement is coming. The period of quiet processing that both cards before this one described as the current state is approaching its completion. What has been worked through privately is approaching the point of external expression. The situation is going to develop in the direction of something actually happening rather than continuing to be held in the interior processing phase. I also want to speak to the fire element and what it tells me about the quality of the movement that is approaching. Fire moves directly. It does not approach things tentatively or with the managed, carefully calibrated quality of someone who is primarily protecting themselves from the risk of the approach. When fire has decided, it acts with the specific, clean, this is where I am going quality of someone who has completed their decision and is now executing it. What is coming toward your situation has that quality, direct, decided, no longer tentative. The fourth card arrived in the position representing what you specifically can do in the current period to support the best possible development of this situation, the action or orientation that is most aligned with what is genuinely in your interest. And this card is one I want to give careful attention to. This card shows a figure in the quiet, self-possessed quality of genuine, settled strength in the specific posture of someone who is simply present with something powerful, who is not attempting to force it or flee from it, but who is inhabiting the fullness of their own center in its proximity. This is the card of quiet strength, of the specific, powerful quality of presence that requires nothing from the outside to sustain it. What I am reading in this card about what you can do is something I want to name precisely. The action that is most aligned with the best outcome of this situation is not additional activity. It is not reaching or pushing or trying to accelerate something that is in its own process. It is the specific, powerful, genuinely difficult thing of being in your own full, grounded, settled quality of who you are without the quality of the situation's unresolvedness pulling you out of that center. I also want to speak to what this card suggests about the energy you bring to the situation when it develops. The figure in this card does not need anything to adjust or perform in order to meet what is in front of them. They are simply and fully themselves, and that is sufficient. What the card is recommending for you is that same quality, not a prepared, managed, how should I respond quality. The actual, genuine, fully present in who I actually am quality that is simply you when you are not managing anything. That quality brought to the situation when it moves is the most powerful thing available to you. I want to address something about the specific experience of waiting for a situation to develop, because I think the end of June quality of this reading, the specific time window quality, deserves direct engagement. The window of the end of June carries a specific quality of culmination energy, of things that have been in process arriving at their next significant expression, of the accumulation of what has been building in the current cycle, reaching the point where it produces something visible and real in the landscape. What I am sensing in the energy of this reading in relation to that window is that the movement the third card describes is approaching within it, not an indefinite, someday, eventually kind of approaching. The specific quality of something that is genuinely positioned to arrive in the near window, what I want to offer about the experience of the period between now and that movement is something practical. The quiet of the current processing phase is not wasted time. It is the period in which the internal conditions of the situation are being properly prepared for the movement that is coming. Rushing it or forcing it or filling the silence with additional actions or communications does not accelerate what is genuinely in its own process. What serves you most in this window is what the fourth card described. Being fully yourself, attending to the full quality of your own life and your own forward movement, rather than primarily attending to the unresolved situation. The situation is working itself through. You do not need to be its primary manager. The fifth card arrived in the position representing the ultimate direction of the situation, where it is genuinely headed over the medium term, beyond the immediate development that is approaching. And I want to describe this with honest attention to what the cards are actually showing me. This card shows a scene of genuine, established, fully inhabited partnership and collaboration. Two people in the specific quality of working together towards something shared, with the quality of an arrangement that has the mutual benefit and the mutual investment of something that genuinely works for both people involved, rather than primarily serving one side. The cups present in this card speak to the water element, to genuine feeling and genuine interior investment in what is shared. What I am sensing in this card about the ultimate direction of the situation is something I want to name directly. The direction is toward something genuine between you and whoever is part of this situation. Not a performance of something or a strategic arrangement or a situation that primarily serves one party's needs while the other accommodates. The direction is toward the actual mutual, both people invested version of whatever this situation is about. That direction is real. It is where the genuine energy of the situation is pointing. I also want to speak to the card that appears here in terms of what it requires of both sides in order to arrive at the destination it is depicting. The arrangement shown in this card is mutual. It requires both people to be genuinely present and genuinely engaged and genuinely willing to bring what they actually carry to the shared space between them. The movement that is coming, the approaching expression of the third card's directed fire, is part of what is necessary for the situation to arrive at the genuine mutual quality of this fifth card. What is coming is the next necessary step, and what it opens is the direction this final card is pointing toward. I want to name something about the timeline that this fifth card suggests, because I think honest engagement with the medium-term quality of the direction is more useful than leaving it vague. The genuine, mutual, both people invested quality of this card is not immediately around the corner in the same way that the movement of the third card is immediately around the corner. It is where the situation is heading over a longer arc. What the movement of the third card produces is a significant next step, not the final arrival at this fifth card's quality. Think of the movement as opening a door. The fifth card is what is on the other side of the door. The opening of the door and the full inhabiting of what is beyond it are two distinct moments. Both are real. They are simply at different points in the arc. Before I close, I want to say something about the nature of timeless readings and what it means for the situation you have in mind. Timeless means the reading is not bound to a specific moment. It means the energy it is describing is present whenever someone finds it and arrives in it. But timeless does not mean vague. What this reading has shown me is specific. A current state of quiet processing on multiple sides. A near future development of directed fire element movement. A specific quality of action that serves you best in the current period, and a direction that the situation is genuinely pointed toward over the medium term. The quality of that direction is genuine and mutual and real. The movement that is arriving is the next necessary expression of something that has real substance in it. And what you came here carrying, the specific situation that has been occupying the quality of your attention that differs from ordinary background processing, is not a delusion or a projection. It has real energy in it, and that real energy is working its way toward its natural expression. Be patient with the current period, not passive in it, patient. And trust that the processing that is happening on your side and on the other side is genuinely working toward the movement that is coming. I want to say one more thing about what this reading is ultimately confirming about the situation you brought into it, because I think a direct summary is more useful than leaving you to piece together the picture from all the individual cards. What you have in mind is real. There is genuine energy on both sides of it. The current quiet is processing rather than ending. Movement is approaching in the near window from the direction that fire element directness tends to come from, which is clear and decisive and not easily misread. And the direction that movement opens toward over the medium arc of the situation is the genuine, mutual, both people invested version of what this situation has always had the potential to become. The end of June window is carrying the energy of the movement arriving, and what arrives carries something real with it. If this reading landed on the specific situation you brought into it, if the description of what is currently happening and what is coming resonates with something you are living through right now, please share it with a Virgo who might be navigating the same kind of waiting and who needs to hear that what is coming is genuine movement, and leave a comment. I want to hear what situation you brought into this reading and whether what the cards described is accurate to what you are actually experiencing. I read every single comment and I hold what is shared in this space with genuine care long after this video ends. Until next time, Virgo, you came here with something specific. What is coming is a genuine development of it in the direction of something real. Trust the current quiet. The movement is approaching, and what it opens is worth the period of waiting that preceded it.